Let's talk about cheek retractors. So there's many different kinds out there. In this video, I want to explain why some designs are better than others, which ones I use mainly, and what I might suggest you would want to use depending on cost and what type of teeth whitening you're going to be doing. So there's many different types. These are actually just a couple of them, and they're in these plastic pouches because I am a dental hygienist, so I can sterilize my cheek retractors. If you're not a dental professional and you don't have access to a sterilizer, then your cheek retractors will be disposable, meaning a one time use only per patient. You would have to dispose of that cheek retractor afterwards, or you could even put it into the price where they can take their cheek retractor home if they're doing any at home whitening to kind of boost their results in between professional sessions. So, how did I choose my cheek retractors? I have tried out many cheek retractors over the past 20 years. There's so many different types. Again, so many more than what I just have here. There's, these plastic ones. They come in different sizes, small, medium, large typically. This blue one is larger than this white clear one, which might be hard to see here. But then they have silicone ones, different types of silicone ones. These ones are, they go inside the mouth to hold the lips and everything back. This is a green one. This is a pink one. I have blue ones. And if you guys notice, the green one is much smaller than the pink one. And surprisingly, you might look at the different sizes here and think, well, this one's huge. No one's going to like it. Smaller is better. But you know what it really depends on? It depends on their cheek muscles and their lips. If somebody has really thin lips, believe it or not, a larger one might work better for them and it might help to keep the lips back. Whereas a smaller one might not be able to fit around the cheek muscles or the lip muscles, and then it just kind of slides out. So, quite often, you might be looking at this big one and saying, wow, her or his mouth is really small, but this one actually fits better. And that's the thing about disposable cheek retractors too, is I always suggest try on at least 2 of them for the patient, so that way they can choose which one they prefer. You don't have to do this all the time, but let's say you try in a pair of cheek retractors and the patients or clients looking at you like, "Oh, these are really uncomfortable." I would take that out, put on a completely different type. So let's say you try this inside the mouth first. They're kinda looking at you like, "Oh my god, this is really uncomfortable." Then maybe try a plastic one and then say, which one do you prefer? I like them both. The main thing is that they're going to hold your cheeks back and the lips back so I can see your teeth and peroxides don't get on the gum tissues, anything like that. But which one do you like better? Which one feels more comfortable? And they might say the larger one, even though you might have thought the smaller one would have been more comfortable. So that's just something that I like to do, but of course, that's an additional cost because you'll be throwing that out unless you're a dental hygienist like me, where I have my own mobile business, so I can sterilize instruments in my own home. So just be careful with that. But cheek retractors, you guys, aren't crazy expensive. Like, for example, these came in a 3-pack for maybe $12, whereas the plastic ones can come in a 10 or 20 pack that works out to a little less than a dollar each. So I like to have both. I can sterilize them, so the price doesn't really matter because I'm constantly reusing them after they're sterilized. So the price doesn't really matter to me. But if you're disposing them, why not consider adding that cost into your teeth whitening? So let's say you want to offer a 60-minute teeth whitening session for $200, but you really like these super expensive silicone. I mean, not super expensive, but $12.99 for 3 of these versus like less than a dollar for one of these. That's a big difference, right? But let's say you do prefer to order these, why not now charge 220 for your teeth whitening clients or 210? So you're always kind of taking into account that extra expense. So don't be afraid to do things like that, but try not to change up prices too much. You don't want to have your price at 200 and then bump it up to 250 and then realize everybody thinks that's too expensive. So now you're bumping it down to 210. Try to pick a price and kind of stick with that. But there's nothing wrong with having sales too. But anyway, that's another video for another day. But how did I choose my cheek retractors? Even if you decide to go on Amazon, type in cheek retractors. You will see many different styles, many different types. There are cheek retractors that just kind of has a little clip for the top and for the bottom, and it kind of holds everything back, but the cheeks can get kind of flimsy. But for some mouths, that works just fine because they're able to keep their cheeks back. but they're more uncomfortable. But then you have the silicone ones, you have the plastic ones, you even have some white ones too that are kind of like a rubbery material. You pop inside the mouth, and then it's just meant to kind of have a butterfly effect where it like spreads its wings, and then the cheeks and everything are kind of kept back. But those are even more expensive than the silicone ones, but also very hard to place. I'm a dental professional, and I'm here trying to fight with the patient's lips, trying to get it in there to get the cheek retractor to stick. So, but it's a really good barrier if you're able to use it properly. So, when you're looking at cheek retractors, what do you want to look at? You want to look at what's going to be easy for you to place. You could always ask for the client's assistance, like you could take out this cheek retractor and say, "Here you go. Go into the bathroom and put this inside your mouth and then come on back." So you don't have to fight with the lips and tongues, but also in some cases, it's easier for you to do it because the client will try to put it in and they don't know where they're supposed to bite. They don't know where they're not supposed to bite. You'll end up having them come out and their cheek retractors like off to the side and they go, "How's this?" And you're going, "No, that's not going to work." So in some cases, you'll be putting it in for them. But if you find certain cheek retractors are easier for you to place, buy those ones because you don't want to be struggling for 10 minutes putting in a cheek retractor and it doesn't make you look very professional, does it? But always have a couple different ones on hand. That's my opinion. Right now, my favorite ones are still the silicone, and I'll tell you why. Because they're a lot softer than these plastic ones. It's kind of hard to see in the bag. I'm sorry, but they've been sterilized, so I don't want to take them out. But the silicone ones are a lot softer than the plastic ones, but the silicone ones are a mouthful. The patients always tell me it feels like it's more of a mouthful, but the silicone ones have this thing in the middle here that helps to keep the tongue back. Go ahead and type in silicone cheek retractor into Amazon and you will find them, or anywhere you will find them. But if you are sterilizing them, make sure they're okay to be sterilized under high heat or they're going to melt. So you might have to pay a little bit more for the silicone ones that you can sterilize if you're a dental professional. But the plastic ones are easier to place, in my opinion, but they're a little more uncomfortable for the patient because they tend to pinch over here where these prongs kind of hold against the cheek there. But you're not having these in for 2 hours, it might be the full hour, which seems like a long time, but I've never had a patient or client not wanting to do the teeth whitening again because of the cheek retractor being too uncomfortable. That just hasn't happened. So it's good to let them know ahead of time. Say to them, "Okay, we're going to be trying in some cheek retractors for you. They are uncomfortable a little bit, but I promise it's going to be worth it. Your teeth are going to look amazing." So it's good to let them know ahead of time that it's normal. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable because nobody's meant to have their mouth open for that long, right? Like I even tell people if you were to hold your arm up like this for an hour, guess what? It's going to get really uncomfortable. Is anything wrong? Not really, but your arm's not used to it. It's not meant to be holding their arm up like that for so long. So for cheek retractors, it's kind of the same thing. Your mouth is open for a long time, but it's okay. We need the cheek retractors in there to keep the peroxide on the teeth only, to make sure it doesn't get on the tongue, the lips, anywhere else. So cheek retractors are needed. I've even had some clients kind of look at me like, "I don't want that in my mouth. Do I need the cheek retractors?" And I just play it off, positively. Like, yes, but it will not be long. They are meant to protect your lips, cheeks, everything. So the peroxide stays away and you won't even notice it after a while. And I do find if you're able to put like lip balm or something on the patient's lips first, it does kind of help things be a little bit more comfortable, especially if somebody has dry lips. You're stretching them more. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, but trust me, you guys, this is teeth whitening. It's not like you're giving them a root canal or something crazy. It's no big deal. So just play it off as a positive thing. But if you're a newbie, you're probably looking at all these different cheek retractors going, "I don't know which one to pick. I don't know what to do." So try them out first. Feel free to get the plastic ones. I feel those are the cheapest and you get the most small, medium, large sizes. It's a good idea to get a mix of sizes, but if you have to pick one, I suggest either small or medium. Not too many people are a large, in my opinion. And you might think smalls are only for children, but no, smalls just mean a small mouth. So if you're starting out, start off with these ones. And if you have the extra money, buy a couple of these too. Just remember, if you don't have a sterilizer, they are disposable. You have to throw them out. So even if you just try this in to see if it fits your patient, but they don't like it and you're going to use another one, you have to throw this out. Even if it was in the mouth for 2 seconds, it doesn't matter because that's saliva. It's been contaminated. You can't disinfect something that's been in that type of contact inside the mouth. It needs to be sterilized. So keep that in mind too. You might have to buy a few extras, but you could also say they can take home their cheek retractor if they want to use it, if they want to play a game with it. You know, some people think it's pretty funny to try to talk with these things. And if they ever do teeth whitening at home, then they can have their own cheek retractor so they can keep the lips and cheeks back. They don't have to buy another one. So many options there. I hope this helped. Let me know if any questions. I do have a teeth whitening manual that is available for free as well, that just kind of lists the important things that you need to think about to get started with your teeth whitening business. So feel free to download that if you like. Talking about cheek retractors, kind of summarizing this video, is included in that manual. So you will see that too. But let me know if there's any questions. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.